it short. That we
Hi, Charlene. I see you. It is 4 o'clock. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, perfect. All right, I got you.
I am so sorry. I just realized that I was on mute when I was talking to you.
That's okay. All is well.
Okay, I was just saying that my computer is upside down, so I'm having to try and figure out why the screen is upside down.
Your screen is upside down, you said?
Yeah, look. See?
Your screen is upside down.
Yeah, so enough.
Well, it's okay. Can you see me?
I can see you well, yes.
Okay.
That's important.
All right. Hi, everybody. We got a lot of folks that everybody joined kind of at one time. I hope everybody has had a good day and that you haven't gotten pinched at all. I'm going to turn my camera around here because I've got some things that I want to show you. So we are scheduled for from 4 to 5 today. So only 1 hour today. We have completed 2 rockets. I turn myself around, I think. We've completed 2 rockets. We've completed the flicker and we have completed the E2X. And so what I want to do today is I want to look at a few different things, okay? Let me tell you about my agenda so you know. All right, let me make me big. Actually, I'm gonna make this one big. All right, here we go. Let me move my keyboard out of the way. All right, so today what we're gonna do is we are going to, well, let me go through my little agenda here so you guys can see it. Okay, can you hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes,
All right,
ma'am.
so perfect. All right, so our official launches have been scheduled. We scheduled that on Tuesday, so that's great. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited as well. If you're not excited and you feel like you need some help, or feel like something may not be right, please reach out to me so that I can help you to get where you need to be. Okay, everybody good with that? So reach out to me so I can help you get all squared away. Then the extra help session. So some of you guys did attend the extra help session with Lakia Gaines on yesterday, and I thought that was really cool. So I hope you enjoyed that. We will have one more extra help session. I'll spotlight me. We'll have one more extra help session coming up, and that's going to be with another former rocket science teacher whose name is Dr. C. We call him Dr. C. And he's going to talk to you about the flight simulators. So that'll be a really great extra help session that you'll want to jump into as well. And I will let you know about that one. I'll send you a little flyer just like I did for Lakia Gaines, and I'll let you know in advance so that you can make time and space for that if you desire to attend that. If you do attend, you will get extra BARST goodie box points, okay? All right, and again, so the more points you stack up as we go along, attending in person allows you to get BARST goodie box points, completing your rocket, making sure that you signed up for your launch time. All of these things help to get you points in the BARST goodie box. And what that does is whoever has the most points gets to go into the box first, and then whoever's got the second most goes in second and third, and so forth and so on. Okay, there are 9 of you in this class. Okay, so just so you know that, and you'll get to go into the goodie box when we do our group picture. All right, also your t-shirts, hopefully the t-shirts will be in. I did order them. I also ordered your handbook of model rocketry. This is a really great book. I did read it from cover to cover. You can see I've got some stuff highlighted and bookmarks and things in there. So this book will be given to you as well. When you signed up for a membership on NAR, that book came with your program, with your membership to NAR, and then with your membership to BARST for what you're doing right now. So you will get a book, you will get your t-shirt. I'll put those things on order. When they come in, I will get them to you, okay? Just so you know that. Any questions so far? No? Okay, just holler at me if you have a question. So if you would, text me the word launch. That's gonna be our attendance word for today. Text me the word launch, okay? We're gonna talk about the rocket launcher a little bit more, just kind of give you some more details about the rocket launcher and how it works. We're gonna talk about engines for a little bit. We are going to go over the lesson plan that you have to do. That's going to be our next step. Remember, there were a few things that you needed to do. In order to complete this, you have to take the exam. You have to build your rockets and launch them and recover them. You have to do your lesson plan. And these are the things that you have to do. So we built our rockets. We have made an appointment to launch those rockets. Now we're moving on to our lesson plan, okay? So the lesson plan we're going to talk about, I'll give you the rubric for that. I will also talk to you about what the lesson plan needs to have. The lesson plan will be submitted to me by March the 30th, okay? And you would just email it to my district email, robin.jackson@richland1.org, okay? But I'll get into that. And so let's go ahead and jump in. Like I said, we have from 4 to 5 today. And I hope to make sure that we get through everything that we need to get through. Okay, any questions so far? No? All right, so your rocket launcher. I did have a couple of questions about the rocket launcher. So I want to talk about that a little bit more. All right. So here's the rocket launcher. We put this together last week. I'm sorry, we put this together on Tuesday. Okay. And so just again, here's your key. This is your key. All right. You always want to make sure that the key is out of basically the ignition before you launch or hook up any rockets. Before you hook up any rockets, make sure that the key is out. All right. And then once your rocket is hooked up, so what we'll do is we'll hook these alligator clips together. I tell you what, let's do this. I have some igniters here, okay? So the igniter would actually go into the bottom of your engine, and this engine is spent, so it's not going to go anywhere. It will go into the bottom of your engine like so. You'll bend it over to the side, and then you would get your plugs, your engines are in this little baggie here. You would get a plug, and depending on what engine you're using, this one is an A8-3. You also have a B6-4, I believe, in your bag. This one is a B6-2, and I'll tell you the difference in those in just a moment. But what you would do is you will put your igniter into your engine, into your motor. It's not an engine. Okay. All right, you'll put your igniter in, and then you'll put your plug in. And this will be at the bottom of your rocket. So here's my rocket. I would take my engine. Let me do that again so you can see. Set this up to the side. So I would take my engine. Here's your nozzle where this hole is. That's called your nozzle. You'll pull this tab back. Push your motor into the motor mount. See if I can pull my camera up a little bit.
Hey, Robin,
Yes?
this is Shawnette. My computer was not pulling it up, so I had to go to a different computer. So I'm just trying to see where you are. I'm sorry.
Sure. So what I'm doing is I'm showing you how to put the motor into your rocket, and then what
Yes.
your launch, what your launcher is going to do.
Okay, so I just stuffed that one in there, or did you do something before that?
If you have your rocket, you can do it as I'm doing it, but you won't.
Oh.
I wouldn't suggest that you do it right now.
Okay.
Because this igniter here, you don't want this igniter to get bent before time. You want it to stay nice and straight. It's not going to hurt to put your motor into your rocket, but if this igniter, which you would only be using one of them, if this igniter gets bent or the wires touch, it's not going to light your rocket. Okay. So see how those wires are not touching at all? You want them to stay like that. But if you put it into your motor and it gets all twisted around, it's not going to launch when you get ready to launch it. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. So here's our E2X rocket that we built. We've got the engine in, the motor in. Let me just show you one more time. Okay. Here's the nozzle. It always is facing out. And you'll know if you put it in the wrong way because you won't be able to put the igniter in. You put your igniter in, bend it off to the side, put your plug in, and your rocket is ready to fly. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the igniter out, and I'm going to pretend like this whole setup is there. I'm not going to put the igniter in the rocket because I don't want it to go off in my home. My husband really likes rockets, but I don't know that he would be excited that one went off in the house. But what I will do is I will show you this. So with your launcher here, you would just take one igniter, put it onto one of the little pieces of wire, take the other igniter, put it onto the other piece of the igniter. Now you're ready to rock and roll. What you would do is you would put your key in, and right now I did the wrong thing because my key was in while I was hooking up my rocket, okay? But if I were ready, I would do my continuity check, and I simply push it down, look and see if my red light is on. Red light says that everything is ready to rock and roll. Now remember, this would be in the bottom of your rocket, inside of your motor, on your launch rod, okay? Do your continuity check. You do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you push the button. Let's see if I can do it at the same time. And it's going to light your motor, okay? Now, if this were inside of my motor, what would happen is, and let me get my little book here to show you this. I'll get to the page. Inside of my motor, this is what the inside of the motor looks like. And this is in the Handbook of Model Rocketry on page 68. Okay, so on the inside of my motor, this is what it looks like. This is where you inserted your igniter. All right, this is your propellant grain right here. So as your igniter burns, as this is happening, your rocket is flying up, 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 up into the sky, up, 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 up. When it gets here, I'm sorry. So while your rocket is burning through the propellant grain, it's flying up, 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 up. Then it's going to get to the point where we are in the time delay grain, okay? Once all of your propellant is burned out, your rocket is pretty much at the point where it's just coasting. It'll coast a little whiles longer, and then it's going to arc over, and that's going to be your highest point. Your highest point is called apogee, okay? When it gets into this delay grain, and it's still burning from when it was ignited down here, it's still burning. So it's going to burn through your delay grain. As it's burning through your delay grain, it's arcing over and it's coming back towards the earth. But just before it starts to pick back up speed, because it slowed down when it got here. All right, your rocket was moving very fast off of your launch rod. When it got here, it slowed down because it doesn't have any more power, doesn't have any more energy to move. And so it's just kind of coasting. It arcs back over and begin just before it picks up speed, we get into what's called the ejection charge. And the ejection charge is what ejects out your recovery system, be it a parachute, be it a streamer, whatever it is, your ejection charge is going to eject out your recovery system, okay? And that's how your motor works. Now, let me tell you this. Let me show you this, okay? So you see various sizes of motors here. I have my A83. So as your motors go up, all right. So this first letter here is going to tell you your total impulse, okay? So you've got total impulse, all right, which is going to tell you how fast and how high your rocket is going to fly. How fast, how high your rocket is going to fly. The first number is going to be your average thrust, okay? It's going to tell you how fast within that total impulse your rocket is going to fly. And then your number 3 is going to be how many seconds after your propellant burns out is your ejection charge going to go off, okay? So an A total impulse, if you put two A's together, you would get a B. If you put two B's together, you would get a C. Okay. And so that's how your motors work. And if you look on the side of your flicker box, you can see that it's asking you for a B6-4 for your first launch and a C6-5 for your next launch. They typically will tell you to do a smaller engine or motor for your first launch because you want to get your rocket back. You want to be able to retrieve that rocket, see it again, and then on your second one, you can go a little wild and crazy. Okay. Now, it was like Christmas around at the Challenger Center because these are all 18 millimeter motors, by the way, all 18 millimeter motors. Okay. Small motors, launch your rocket up to, maybe 500-600 feet, maybe 1,000 feet. If you got a light rocket and a very powerful motor. Okay. This one is what I'll be using for my level 2 high power rocket. All right. And I will put in it a J motor. I have to put in a J motor to launch it. And so if you can remember what I was telling you, in A, if you put two A's together, you get a B. Put two B's together, you get a C. Put two C's together, you get a D. Put two D's together, you get an E, and so on and so forth. So you can see the bigger you get in rocketry, the bigger your motor cases go. All right, so here's an 18 millimeter motor, same as these. These will fit these. This is a single use motor. You can only use it one time. This is a reloadable case for a reloadable motor. So what you would do is you would use the case, and this acts just like this paper tube here. So what they would do is they would send you your delay grain, they would send you your propellant, you load it up into your reloadable rocket motor, and then you could fly it over and over and over again. The case is expensive, but the propellants, the rocket motors themselves tend to be a little cheaper. Okay. And of course, so you can see the size, the difference in the size of these two. So I'm super excited. Super excited. And if you come to NSL, I hope to fly this rocket that I'm going to build. I wanted to show you this right over here. So I showed you my All Is Well rocket before. Can you see that? I showed you my All Is Well. I was able to get the EZ65. So this will be the level 2 rocket here in just a moment. All right, so I'll be putting that one together shortly, and I'm super excited. So you guys wish me well on that. Do we have any questions about the launcher, the motors, the book? Any questions about that? If we don't, we're going to move forward. If later on you find out, wait, what did she say about this? Contact me, okay? And we can get it all figured out. Sounds good? Just so you know, again, on this little piece of paper that you got is in your folder, it tells you what the impulses are for these particular motors, okay? It's very cool. If you wanted to do some type of diagram with your students, you could go to thrustcurve.com. Thrustcurve.com helps you to get a great understanding of what a particular motor may do inside of your rocket. So that is a great resource. There are other great resources that you can use to help figure out what your rocket is going to do. I did want to share with you a website vendor that I really like. They are super helpful in that if you ever get ready to start ordering stuff, this is a great company to order from. And can you guys see my screen? So this is Apogee. rockets.com, and Apogee gives a lot of great information about rocketry, rockets that you want to order, motors, kits, anything that you are looking for. Apogee rockets.com is a great place to order rockets from. So is rocketryworks.com, another great place to order rockets from. AC Supply, another great company to order rockets from. And I will send you these links to these companies, okay? And as I find out more great companies to order from, I will let you know. All right? Everybody good? All right, so let's do this. Let me get to the lesson plan, okay? So with the lesson plan, you're gonna put together a lesson plan, all right? And as you put together your lesson plan, and don't worry about it, it's not gonna be hard. Let me get the rubric and I'll put the rubric here.
Robin, I'm sorry. Did we get the book?
You didn't get the book. The book, I ordered the books and they are still en route to me. I thought I had them today, but I didn't. So as soon as I get the books for you, as soon as I get the books, I will give them to you. Yeah, so they're coming.
No, that's fine. I was just like thinking like, oh my God, what did I do with it if I got it? I'm sorry. I just saw it. Sorry.
It's okay. All is well. All is well. All right, so here we go. So here's the lesson plan, right? So first thing that you want to see is you want to go through, you want to have, can you guys see this? If I do this way? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't share my screen. Hang on. Doesn't share my screen. Go back here. And here. And share. Okay, can you see my lesson plan? Yes? Anybody? 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 Okay, I'm going to assume that we can. All right. So I'll go through the lesson plan.
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I'll share the lesson plan with you, and then, or maybe share the rubric with you. Let me share the rubric with you. Would you guys prefer to see the rubric or the lesson plan? Which one would you prefer to see?
Both.
Both? Okay. All right. Well, we'll go back and forth. I've got the rubric here and I've got the lesson plan on my screen. You guys can see my lesson plan, right? So the first thing is you want to make sure that you have your lesson plan saved properly. So what you're going to do is you're going to save it as lesson plan. Oh, I got to chat here. Lesson plan. Okay, that sounds good. Nope, you didn't misplace the book. The book is on the way, guys. It's on the way. I just sent him another message today to say, hey, I don't have the book. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you have your file saved properly. If you can see my file up top, which I don't know that you can, see it that it is saved as Rocket Lesson Plan with your name, the year 2022. That's what you're going to save it as. Okay. So if you do that, you get 3 points. If you don't, you get 1. All right. So the scale, the rubric is going to kind of go with a 3 for approved, 2 needs work, 1 unapproved. Okay. And then we're going to get down to the cover page. And what I've done is I've highlighted each section of the rubric. It corresponds with the lesson plan. Okay. So your cover page, lesson, model rocketry, whatever you choose to title your plan, that's fine. And then your name, your school, and the date. And you can see that here as well. Okay. That's going to be in yellow. Then moving on up. So it's just a very simple lesson plan, I hope. All right, and then we'll look for standards, indicators, objectives to be taught. So if you have if you have the standard, the indicator, the objective, you get 3 points. If it only includes appropriate standard and objective, you get 2. And if it does not include the standard, the objective, or the indicator, you get 1 point, okay? Your lesson duration is included. So here's the lesson duration. This is what I'm looking for. I just want to know about how long is your lesson going to last? Is it going to last 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, 10 days, 1 hour, 30 minutes? How long is your lesson going to last? Okay. And you can use the same format that I have here. You can use the same format that I have here, the same format. Okay. If you desire to do that. Materials for your lesson. So the materials for your lesson, I want to see that your lesson plan lists the most of the materials needed for the lesson to include the rocket kit and the engine. So you can see in my materials here, I've made sure that I've listed all of these things, and all of these things are basically what you have in your box that you got in your bag in your kit. So that's the materials for this lesson that you're going to need. If you know that you're going to need something else in your class, list it, okay? Otherwise, here are some good materials here. You want to make sure that you have your model rocket kit and your engines included in your materials for your lesson. If you don't, you can get a 2 or a 1 for your materials, okay? Moving on here. We're coming on down to the lesson includes an introduction. So introduction, just looking for a short video, some intro into rocketry, maybe something that you learned, something that you heard. What's your intro into this lesson? Okay, very simple, doesn't have to take a lot of time. And then your lesson includes your teaching portion. All right, so your teaching portion is here. Just talking about, I'm looking for, does it include a clear teaching portion that includes the history of rocketry? I'm looking for the history of rocketry, okay? That's what I'm looking for in your lesson plan. Does the lesson plan include a portion that includes some rocket history? You get a 2, or no history, you get a 1, okay? The lesson includes careers. So at one point, Richland 1 was really big on making sure that careers were added to lessons. So I'll be looking for, does your lesson plan include some careers? Okay, all right. And here's some rocketry careers here. If you go to just simply Google careers at NASA or rocketry careers, there are other careers that will pop up. Otherwise, here are 3 great careers right here, okay? Coming on down, lesson includes a hands-on activity of building rockets. All right, so here's our hands-on activity. And now look here. What I'm looking for you to get a 3 is I'm looking for that your plan includes pictorial evidence. That can be a PowerPoint, it can be the YouTube videos, it can be the instructions that you're going to go by, the instructions that came in your rocket kit. That's the pictorial evidence that I'm looking for. You don't have to go and draw something by hand. You don't have to do that, okay? Just use what's available to you. The SC rocket science teacher is available to you. NASA is available to you. Lots of videos, pictorial evidence is available to you, okay? If you don't have pictorial evidence, you'll get a 2. And if it does not include building a model rocket, you get a 1, which I can't see why it wouldn't include building a model rocket. Your lesson includes an assessment. So you want to make sure that you have your assessment in there. You also want to make sure that you have your evaluation in there. And then at the very bottom, I want to see references. 2 or more references will get you a 3. 1 reference will get you a 2. No references will get you a 1, okay? All right. And for, to pass this, you can't have any 1s, period. Okay, can't have any ones on this period. If you do have any ones, I will look at it, see that you have ones, and I'll send it back to you and say, you just need to fix this, and then you'll be good to go, okay? So let's all shoot for 3s, and we will be good to go. Are there any questions on the lesson plan part? Let me stop sharing the lesson plan now that we kind of scroll through that a little bit. And I will send you a copy of the lesson plan, and I will send you a copy of the rubric, okay? I'll send you both of those. Let me share the rubric with you real quick.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
The standards that go into the lesson plan, are they on the South Carolina Department of Education website? Where do we get those standards?
So the standards that are on this lesson plan was on the South Carolina State Department of Ed. But if you know, I think I have a math teacher in here. I think Cassandra is teaching math. So if you want to use math standards, that's fine. You just want to make sure that whatever the standards are that you are going to use to teach this, they're in there. Does that make sense?
Among your resources, would you just send us the standards so that we can just always pull from there?
I will. So
I
the
appreciate it.
resources
Okay.
are on they're on the lesson plan. So you'll be able to see all of my resources that I have on there. You can use those same resources, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Here is the lesson plan rubric that I will literally be going down the line. I'm going to look to see, is your lesson plan, is it saved properly? Okay. And what I mean by that is, let me pull this up. Can you guys see, can you see all of these documents here? Or do you still see the lesson plan? What do you see? You still see the lesson plan?
We're looking at the rubric, just the first part.
Let me get this up for you so you can see what I'm talking about. Yeah. All right, can you see my file here? There we go. So this is what I want you to see. See how I have it saved here? Rocket Lesson Plan, Robin Jackson, 2022. That's what I want yours to look like. Rocket Lesson Plan, Charlene Binder, 2022. Okay, very easy. That helps me to keep track of it. Also, what's been happening is we've been getting lots of, we've been being asked to submit lesson plans to say who's taking BARST, who's going through BARST, what teachers are going through BARST. Let us see if we can get them some money. So when you do your lesson plan and you submit it, the district is really excited about BARST right now. And so rockets, if you are deciding to do rockets in your classroom, what the district is saying is, hey, let's find some money for this. So you want to make sure that what you're doing is something that you can be proud of, because it will probably be submitted up so that you can get some money for your school. So not promising, I'm just saying they're really excited about it right now, okay? So you want to make sure that your lesson plan is saved properly. Have your cover page on there, and you don't have to highlight stuff. You just, do it as normal. Your standards, have your appropriate standards, indicators, objectives. The lesson duration is on there, and make sure that with your lesson duration, you are having it at the very beginning. And then I don't know if you saw, but you want to also have it as the lesson goes on. So if you can see here, I've got, 5 minutes is approximate time, 30 minutes for the lesson or so. Then I'm looking at 60 minutes for building my rocket. I'm looking at 45 minutes for assessment, 10 minutes for evaluation, whatever you think that the time frame is going to be for your lesson, that's what you're including in there for that lesson duration, okay? And then also the materials for the lesson. Again, there is a great list of materials already in the lesson plan, okay? There's a great list of materials already in the lesson plan. You can use the same outline, just tailor it a little bit to what you need for your classroom, okay? for the age group that you teach. The lesson plan includes a clear introduction to rocketry. Find a great introductory video that your students can watch, or a great article that they can read and maybe take notes on, something like that, okay? Your lesson plan includes your teaching portion. It has to include the history of rocketry. That's what I'm going to be looking for. It has to include the history of rocketry. There's a great history of rocketry already in the lesson, okay? There's a great history of rocketry already in there. You can use that. The lessons include careers, great careers that are already in the lesson, or you can go and find 2 careers that you think your students might enjoy learning a little bit more about, okay? You want to make sure that you have your pictorial evidence in there. That's important. Your lesson assessment, lesson evaluation, 2 or more references, and you are good to go. Again, you want to submit it to my email address, and I'll send all of this when I do the follow-up email today. So you want to submit it to my email address, robin.jackson@richland1.org by March 30th, okay? And again, use the outline. Use the outline, okay? It's there for you to use. That's perfectly fine. Everybody good? Are there any questions? Lesson plans are due March 30th. Yes?
Just curious, that little wooden dowel that we have, we haven't used that yet, right? The little wooden dowel that you said press the light on there, remember?
That is the only purpose for that little wooden dowel.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. But yes, that's the only purpose for it. So if you lose it, you can just find something else to turn that little your little light on. Okay? Yeah. Has everybody built their rockets? Everybody's got their rockets all built. I know that some folks, when I go out to your school, your kids will be around because they're very excited about what you're doing. And that's a great thing. When your kids are excited about what you're doing, that is a great thing. That means they'll be excited when you actually say, we're going to be doing rockets in our classroom. So rockets in the classroom is very, very exciting. Are there any more questions? No more questions? No more questions? Hooray! All right, well, guys, if there are no more questions, I think I will let you go so that you can go ahead and get started on your, yes. Yeah. Oh, very nice. Oh, don't forget this. Name your rockets, okay? Name your rockets. Like I said, this one is called the Lot 4, but I named it All As Well. I said that I was going to name my second one Itolo Está Bien, which means everything will be all right. So I'll have All As Well and Itolo Está Bien. And then I don't know what these little rockets will be named yet. I don't know. So name your rockets. So when I come out and call out your rockets, we can be able to name them. Okay. If there are no more questions, I'm going to go ahead and end this call. And I'll send the follow-up email and you'll be good to go. Otherwise, you guys have a great rest of your St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye-bye, guys.